Hello, everyone. Christiana here. Welcome back to Good Sport NYC, your podcast all about women's sports culture in New York City. Solo episode this week. Today is going to be a quick one. We're just going to go through the big news stories of the last couple of weeks for our pro teams here in the Big Apple. But before we even do that, I have to tell you about Good Sport's first event, which happened 2 days ago. I'm recording this on Friday. We had a Pride event, big gay knockout here in Brooklyn, and it was so fun. Thank you to everybody who came out. We truly played big knockout, and we made some DIY merch, and we ate fruit roll-ups. And it was amazing. It was a really special moment, I think, for this project because honestly, I kind of expected it to mostly just be my friends supporting this thing I'm trying to do. But there was a lot of people there that I did not know and that found out about the event like through the podcast or the newsletter or like from Partiful. And it was just a really special moment. And it's just so fun to play outside. It was also the only day of the week that was like nice and sunny, which is proof that God loves gay people. And by God, I mean whatever God could be. It's been a whirlwind of a week, but I'm having so much fun doing this dang project. So thank you for being here. Blazer Sports Bar, which is in Williamsburg, donated a hat to our raffle that we did. We also did a really fun raffle. So I wanted to say thank you to Blazers. We have some amazing photos from this event. Check them out on Instagram. I'm going to put them in the newsletter this week too. All taken by my amazingly talented friend, Pino. She's an amazing photographer. I love her work, and she took photos of this event because she's a good freaking friend. Check her out on Instagram. It's at pix.forus and hit her up for all your photography needs. Love you, girl. And then I just have to say thank you to my friends Tess, Leah, and Sabine. Sabine also is my girlfriend, of course, for helping so much with this event on running the knockout and also helping with the DIY merch, which went just super well and looked amazing, and they put a shit ton of work into it. So if you guys want a Good Sport tank top, hit us up and we can make you one. Now we have the means to do so. So yeah, that's your little scene report from this week. It was such a blast, and I can't wait to do more events. Okay, but now for the bulk of this episode, let's talk about New York women's sports and the news. What's going on with our teams? So first I want to talk about Gotham FC because they have been doing a lot of cool stuff lately. And in a moment where New York is big on soccer, World Cup stuff, we got to hear it for our women's team. We got to hear it for our girls. So first things first, this probably is making the biggest splash right now. Forward Sam Kerr, one of the best goal scorers in soccer, one of the best players in women's soccer in general, is returning to New York City. She's joining Gotham FC. I don't think the team itself has confirmed this yet or officially announced it, but it has hit the news. This is a huge deal because if you listened to our episode from a few weeks back on Gotham, our biggest need as a team is we need someone who can finish and who can score goals reliably. Sam Kerr is the best person on the planet for that, or one of the best players in the planet to fill that role. So this is hugely exciting. Kerr has been in NYC before. She was at Gotham when it was still Sky Blue FC. And when she was there, she held the record for the most regular season goals scored by a player. That record was then broken by Lynn Biendolo. So let's see if Kerr comes back and breaks it again, reclaims that record, which would be a very full circle moment. Kerr spent the last 6.5-ish years at Chelsea. She had a very successful run there, and a lot of clubs had interest in being her next stop. So the fact that we got her, I think, is just a show that we are taking it seriously to become like one of the best teams in the league, coming after our championship last year, especially. In order to make this happen, we did have to do a trade, though. We traded defender Lily Reel to Boston to make this happen, which is a huge loss. Can't be understated. Lily was the 2025 Rookie of the Year in the NWSL. She's an amazing defender, super solid. She's been playing with the women's national team now. She was in Brazil with them. She's just a really strong young defender, and I think she could have been like a franchise pillar for us. We have some defenders that have been injured that are going to come back into the lineup. Mandy Freeman, who's been with the team for 10 years, for example, and also Bruniha, our defender who has been out with a hamstring injury. So we'll see how our defense comes together after losing Lily, but wishing her the best, of course, at Boston. And at the end of the day, Sam Kerr is one of the only players I could kind of justify losing a Rookie of the Year for. So very excited to see her on the pitch. But that is not the only thing that Gotham has been up to. They also announced that they are building a $35 million facility that will be Gotham's first dedicated training facility. They have always had to share facilities with men's teams. They've never had a field of their own. They've never had a training center of their own. So this is a huge investment from the club. And I think that, there has been this dissonance around Gotham where they are regularly in the last 5 years putting up extremely high level play with an amazing roster, winning 2 championships, being able to acquire really amazing players globally and from across the NWSL while struggling with attendance and still not having top of the line facilities that some of the other teams in this league have. Though, to be honest, most teams in the NWSL are playing second fiddle to men's facilities. I think this just goes to show that the front office and the team running that organization is trying to put their stake in the ground that Gotham FC is going to be a top tier women's team in the States. I'm really excited for this. It's going to look amazing and they deserve it. We brought home 2 championships in the last 3 years. They need to have a good facility. So it's really exciting. And then we also have the Queen's Classic coming up, which is going to be the first women's sporting event held at Citi Field. It is our Gotham FC versus the Washington Spirit, 2 of sort of the best endowed with stars teams. Trinity Rodman leads the Washington Spirit, one of the biggest names in women's soccer, the rumored highest paid women's player. And then, of course, we have Jaden Shaw and Tierna Davidson and just so many amazing players on Gotham. So it's going to be super fun. I'm going to be there. We raffled off tickets for this game at our event this week. And they're trying to break the attendance record for women's sporting events with this game. It's on July 15th, so get your tickets. It's going to be super fun. And yeah, I'm proud of Gotham. This is all coming off of the heels of Gotham announcing early this month in June that Yael Averbich West was being officially promoted to the president of soccer operations at Gotham. Previously, she served as general manager and head of soccer operations. And she has really been the mind behind reshaping the team, bringing in so many of these big star players like Rose Lavelle, Tierna Davidson, Jaden Shaw, things like that. So the team is investing in the organization, running the squad, and also the players and the team itself with these facilities and giving them opportunities. I've also noticed, I don't know if this is Gotham or if this is her team, but Midge Purcell, who I love, who's an amazing player on our team, I've seen her in the media a lot lately. And she has the personality for it. She's a very talented spokeswoman. But I think Gotham is just trying to cement itself as like a cultural institution, as like a piece of New York culture. And I think all of these things are coming together to show that they're taking that really seriously, which is very exciting to me. We also, last thing on Gotham, this week they announced that they extended midfielder Emily Sonnet's contract through 2028. Emily Sonnet is just like a household name in women's soccer at this point. She plays with the U.S. women's national team. She was in Brazil. And this is just really exciting to know that we will have her through 2028. So I think we're going to get some more championships in the next few years, and I'm really excited. So shout out to Gotham for all these moves that they're making. Okay, let's talk about basketball now. Let's review how the Liberty has been doing in their last slew of games. So last Sunday, we played the Sparks in the 30th anniversary game of the inaugural W game. So back in 1997, the Liberty won, but it did not go that way this time. It was a tight game the whole time. The legends were in the building from both the Sparks side and our side. Lisa Leslie was in the building. Rebecca Lobo was in the building. Kim Hampton. My friend Gigi was there. They all got cool t-shirts to sort of mark the occasion. It was apparently just freaking awesome. And we ended up losing that game. Nneka Abumake hit a 3-point buzzer beater at the last second to take LA to a 98-97 win over our Liberty. I do not like when my teams lose, but if they have to lose, I want it to be like this, in this historic type of moment that's just going to be etched into the legacy of the W, because Nneka is also the president of the WNBPA. She led this year's historic CBA negotiations. She was sort of the face of that movement, doing all of the media and the press and really like putting the process on her back, changing the lives of so many W players and their families. Like, what a legacy. And then for our 30th season, a season that's all about legacy, we saw Nneka just hit this amazing 3-pointer to help her team win. And yeah, it felt like we were watching a piece of Nneka's legacy just exist in real time. And she had this really amazing post-game interview where she's in tears and she's talking about what it feels like to look around in the stadium filled with all of these legends who were not paid what they were worth, and to see them coming out and supporting her when all these other players, there's now millionaires in the WNBA. And it just was a really special moment, and I'm really happy for her. And yeah, despite us taking that L, I really loved to see it. So that was our Sparks game. Then we went over to Las Vegas and had a really fun classic Aces rivalry game. It was a tight game, and we ended up winning that game 87-76. It was a great game for Stewie and also for Sabrina, who is back in the lineup now after being out for quite some time. Sab had 16 points and 10 rebounds. Great to see her sort of getting back into her flow. And I think the cool thing about the Aces Liberty rivalry is it is like the games are intense and tight, but there's so much love between these two teams. After, it's like all hugs, really sweet moment where Stewie is like hanging out with Asia's family. You can tell Asia and Stewie are just good friends with tons of respect there, which is just cool. And don't get me wrong, I love a nasty rivalry, and maybe we'll see that at the Commissioner's Cup game between these two teams happening next week. But for now, it was just really good vibes, and I like to see that, especially in a moment where there is a lot of vitriol in the W with like what's going on with like the Caitlin Clark and the AT incident of it all, and like what happened with Izzy's flagrant on Angel and everything. And it's just, sometimes it's nice to have a little wholesome moment. And lastly, we lost to Seattle, which has not been a very good team. We lost to them this week. Stewie was out. She was resting. I'll be honest, I did not watch this game. I only watched the highlights. And it's okay. Sometimes we lose. There's so many basketball games. Sometimes you have to lose. But yeah, we were just like not firing on all cylinders, it seemed. And meanwhile, Seattle, which is a young team that is like kind of rebuilding after a ton of shakeups in their roster, just had a really great game. It was cool. Like looking in the comments on the YouTube highlights, it was like clearly a lot of Seattle fans being like, this is what our team is capable of. Like our big three with Flage and Dominique Malanga and Awa Pham is like the future of this franchise. And they really did an amazing job. Flage who I really love. She's one of my favorites. Career high 28 points. So good for you, Flage. So yeah, that's what's up with the Liberty. So after an 8-game win streak, we got a couple L's. But that's just how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you beat the Aces in the middle of the week and then you lose to Seattle because your star player is out and things are weird. It's fine. Okay, and the last thing I wanted to hit on here is it seems like we have a really good lacrosse team. Our New York Charging lacrosse team is the only undefeated team in the Women's Professional League. We've got a bunch of new young players making their professional debut with us. Really cool to see. I want to get someone from that team on, either a player or a coach or something, onto the pod to talk about what it's been like so far in this first inaugural season of the WLL. I highly recommend following that team, our New York Charging, on social because it's just good vibes. I think they're doing a good job just like sharing the stories of this team. So yeah, they have another game coming up this week. They play on Saturday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. You can watch it on ESPN. So I'm gonna try to tune into that so I can watch our girls play. But that is our news. That's what's going on in the scene. To close out the pod today, I gotta hit my good sport of the week. And this week, I am going with my friend, Leah Davis. I mentioned her earlier. She was a huge part of Good Sport's first event, our knockout game on Wednesday. Leah, how do I say this? Leah is who you call when something is happening to you and you need help. She is just one of the best problem solvers I have ever known. And we were struggling with how to do this DIY merch thing we were going to do at this event. And within like 24 hours, she just had it figured out. She was with a friend doing a laser wood cutter or something. She bought a Cricut machine. She was stenciling. And I just really appreciate her so much. And she's like actually an event professional. And I was being shy. I didn't want to bug her with my needs. Girl, I'm never being shy again. Thank you so much for the help, Leah. I love you. You're my good sport. But okay, guys, that is it. Watch some women's sports this weekend, okay? Gotham is playing tonight in the NWSL Challenge Cup in Columbus against Kansas City. New York Charging is playing on Saturday, and our Liberty is playing the Valks on Sunday. Women's sports are in the air. Watch them. Have a great weekend. We'll be back next week with a new episode. GoodSportNYC.com to subscribe to all the things. But anyway, love you. Bye. Good Sport NYC was created by Christiana Cromer with editing and production help from Rosabelle Hine. Good Sport's visual identity is by Nikki Vandervelde. This show is not sponsored by anyone, but hopefully someone soon.